Gilded Age Season 3 might be the best season of the show that we watched so far, and I'll die on that hill. Now that we are more than halfway through the season, things started to get messier and juicier. An episode 7 trailer suggests that further drama is brewing. So let's talk about it. As you have probably watched, episode 6 was packed. Let's start with Gladys, because I think we can all agree that this girl has finally stepped into her Duchess era, and she deserves a recognition for this. Turns out all she needed was a little nudging from Bertha to assert herself to the Duke and his devilish sister, and she did an amazing job in achieving that. Bertha's maid, Miss Andre, overheard Lady Sarah saying she's wearing Gladys down like a puppy in training. And this was the perfect thing for Bertha to use it as ammo, calling out Lady Sarah at dinner over her anti-suffrage views in front of everyone. Can we take a second to take back all we said about Bertha for the past month? Because, let's be honest, she is still the best character on this show, and yes, there is nothing I love more than watching her in this badass mode. And now, Gladys is following her footsteps as well. First, she worries this will backfire, but instead of spiraling in her mind, she asks Bertha for advice, which is the smartest thing she could ever do. Her mother is the experienced one here. She has been dealing with the entire city of bullies for years, for God's sake. So, of course, Bertha knows how to deal with a mean girl such as Lady Sarah better than anyone else. Gladys even takes over dinner protocol, standing after Lady Sarah and calling her out, forcing Hector to back her up by saying, "There was no Duchess before, there is now." And all I can say to that scene is, good for her. Bertha and Gladys part on good terms. Bertha's proud, telling her daughter she's becoming the kind of woman who matters in this world. And she is right, because in the trailer for episode 7, we see that Gladys is growing into her new life as a duchess. She is walking in her grand gardens with the Duke. And she has this clearly affectionate look on her face when peeking at the Duke. Clearly, she is figuring out the ways that she can not only love this man, but also make him fall in love with her as well. She is realizing that if she plays her cards right, this life can turn out to be a great one. And I don't know about you guys, but I love to see her like this. Meanwhile, back in New York, everything is falling apart for George. He gets called out of the city by none other than J.P. Morgan to help rescue the Illinois Central line. Without a majority owner, the business is in limbo. And JP's solution is that one man must own 51% of the company, and he wants that man to be George. The Merrick brothers agree to sell their shares to George. But Clay, aka George's former secretary, is working with Mr. Sage now, and he knows where all the financial bodies are buried. So suddenly, leaks hit the press. And as you can imagine, banks are collapsing, Russell Industries stock is tanking, and the Merricks back out. George is convinced Clay is behind it all, saying, "I should have had Clay killed." And honestly, I'm afraid he was quite serious. Naturally, George can't secure funding, because from this point on, nobody will touch him. Not in New York, not in London. And he refuses to make a deal with Clay, even if it means watching his company burn to the ground. I mean, if there is one thing that we know about the Russells, it is the fact that they are full of pride, and no money will lead them to leave that pride behind. Thankfully, there is a hope on the horizon, because guess what? Larry may have struck gold in Arizona. I mean, literally. Turns out copper mining deals are extremely profitable and could actually save the family fortune, of course, if Larry acts fast. The thing is, though, his personal life is about to catch with Larry, disrupting his business plans, because, as you all know, Marian just broke the engagement after hearing that Oscar saw Larry and Maud Beaton together the night they were supposed to be at Delmonico's. And yes, Larry lied about it. Marian finally learned that Maud is back in New York, working at a club that's definitely not respectable. To no one's surprise, Agnes is thrilled Marian wants to end the engagement. Ada, however, urges patience, but as we all know, Marian has been burned before. I mean, how can we forget Mr. Rakes, am I right? And honestly, after such a trauma, I'm not surprised at all that she triggered by Larry's lie and decided to end the engagement immediately. Yes, it was kind of sudden and brutal, but put yourself in her shoes for a second. What would you have done? Let me know in the comments. In episode 7 trailer, we see Larry getting the news when he got back from Arizona. I mean, it seems like he was just about to enter the house with a huge smile on his face, knowing that he struck gold in Arizona. And yet, that short letter from Marian caused an immediate letdown in his face. He goes from a man with everything to a man with nothing in milliseconds. And I don't know about you guys, but even though I'm mad at him for lying, I still feel for him at this very moment. Then, we see him questioning Bertha over these news, because he suspects that she might have intervened with his relationship as she did with Gladys. Bertha is visibly blindsided by all these. Yes, she wasn't a fan of Larry marrying with Marian, but we all know that she genuinely did nothing to break them apart. At least not yet. She says, how can they think she could cause something like this? And George answers by saying, because we know what you are capable of. And you know what? He is absolutely right. If I was Larry, I would have also be suspicious of my mother. The thing is, though, the What the trailer is edited hints that a twist is looming in this storyline. I mean, yes, we see Agnes saying Marian that she shouldn't care about Larry's feelings. We also see Marian saying Peggy that there is nothing left to talk about Larry. So it seems like Marian has made her mind for sure, and yet she is still hurting. She truly loved Larry, and she is extremely heartbroken by his lies, to the point that there are not many things that Larry can say to change her mind. However, there is someone whose words can still be effective in impacting Marian's opinion of Larry, and that person is none other than Bertha. It seems like this accusation against her will make Bertha realize that she lost all the trust of her family due to her actions around Gladys's marriage. So she will decide to subvert the expectations completely, and instead of breaking them apart, she will do her best to bring Marian and Larry back together. And I don't know about you guys, but I cannot wait to watch Bertha's Good Mother era. Another important storyline is surrounding Oscar, who gets a redemption arc that quickly turned tragic. I mean, if you were to come to me in season 1 and say that Oscar was going to be the one whom I'll feel sorry the most for, I'd say to you to get the hell out of here. And yet, here we are. As we all know, Oscar tracked down Maud at her club. All he was seeking was closure. And yet, she revealed her horrible backstory, including being gambled away by her father at age 12. Oscar, being a gentleman that he is, listened to her carefully. Despite the pain she caused, he bought her a train ticket and gave her $100 to go to her sister in Ohio. Later, Oscar asked John Adams if it was foolish to be this kind. John said no, saying Maud was also a victim of Crowther. Oscar thanked John tenderly, saying, "You were my savior," and then tragedy struck. As John crosses the street, he's hit by a horse and carriage. And unfortunately, episode 7 trailer confirms that John is dead, and I'm still in shock. Because is it just me, or was he killed on purpose? Because that carriage did not seem to slow down at the sight of him at all. So yes, I'm dying to learn more about John's end. And even though I feel terrible for Oscar, I feel like so far we watched his origin story. And from now on, we will witness him flourish, rising from his ashes. Because the rumor has it that John left all his wealth to Oscar, meaning that it is finally time for Oscar to complete his redemption arc. Another thing that the trailer suggests is that the gossips will go beyond all the socialites' imagination, to the point that the creme de la creme of the society will come together to tackle the snitch among them. The thing is, I think we already know who the snitch is. I mean, isn't it obvious that Miss Andre is the source that leaks everything to the press? I mean, can you think of anyone else but her? Because I truly cannot. But let me know in the comments. For more weekly updates, discussions, and analysis on the Gilded Age Season 3, make sure to like and follow. Meanwhile, the video on the screen might also interest you.